I'm here with Stuart Gowans, who's the General Manager, Business Development at SUEZ, Australia and New Zealand, and we're talking about innovation and opportunities in the water sector. Thanks for coming in.
No problem at all.
Talk to me about what you see as the key opportunities for the sector.
I think there's a couple of key opportunities that we're seeing globally and both locally in the sector around innovation. One is resource recovery. So a lot of utilities are looking at their wastewater treatment plants, for instance, not as facilities that absorb cost, we have to treat and discharge water, but they're actually resource facilities, resource recovery centres. We're turning them into what we call biofactories, for instance. So it's about recovering carbon from the waste stream, producing biogas, biomethane, generating power, powering vehicles, extracting nutrients from wastewater and utilising it as fertilisers, for instance. So there's a huge amount of work and time and effort going in at SUEZ, for instance, around developing technologies and solutions in that space. In Australia, I think it's quite a young adoption of that type of technology, so I think we've got a lot to do. So there's a huge amount of opportunity, I think, in the local market for utilities to adopt that type of philosophy around their wastewater treatment plants.
What sorts of smart solutions have you been experimenting with both here in ANZ and around the world?
I think one of the opportunities is around the wastewater treatment process that we're trying to flip on its head. So we're extracting carbon up front to utilise in the generation of biogas through anaerobic digestion. So SUEZ is spending a lot of time and effort generating solutions in that space. In the downstream treatment process, where we would conventionally use activated sludge processes, we're looking at different ways of treating that with the depleted carbon, using less energy, less chemicals, so that it's a more efficient process overall, reducing cost for the utility, but getting the same outcomes in terms of treatment processes so we can discharge the environment safe water.
And how will that change the way water utilities work?
It's a different philosophy, I think, around the wastewater treatment plant process. So instead of thinking of the treatment plant process as a cost centre where we have a problem that we have to deal with before we can discharge to the environment, we're now looking at them as biofactories. So we're looking at it as a resource, basically. So there's nutrients, there's biogas that can be generated from a wastewater stream, and turning that wastewater plant into a biofactory is the new trend globally, and we're starting to see snippets of that in the local market.
And what about the local market? I mean, how do Australian water utilities reap the benefits of those sorts of smart solutions?
I think it will benefit their customers basically because they're going to be more efficient utilities. So if you can extract resource and reduce your operating costs, you can pass those benefits back to your customer base and just become a more efficient utility. It's better for the environment overall as well because you're actually, creating resources instead of absorbing resources.
And does there need to be a step change in thinking in Australia to start to adopt those technologies?
I wouldn't say a step change. I think there is an evolution in this space in any case, but I think we do have to be a bit more open to adopting new technologies in the local market. I think they're there, they've been proven in different markets overseas, and I think we need to start adopting those in the local market for the benefit of everybody. And
what drives that evolution? Is it leadership within the water industry, or is it customer demand?
I think it's a bit of both, actually. I think there are certain companies that are pushing the boundaries and spending a huge amount of money on research and development. I'm proud to say that SUEZ is one of those. We spend a huge amount of time and effort. We've got 400 full-time researchers globally looking at new solutions like this, looking at trends in the market, seeing what we can do to benefit both our own operations and the operations of our customers that we serve. And I think there's also a drive from customers and consumers of utilities. They want their utilities to do the right thing. There's a consciousness about the environment and doing the right thing for the environment. And if we can extract resources instead of utilising them, I think that's going to be a benefit to everybody. In other news, we know that SUEZ recently acquired GE Water. What does that mean for the water industry? That's a big deal for SUEZ. I mean, principally in Australia, we operated in the municipal market generally. GE Water globally is very big in the industrial market. So we've now got a really strong footprint in the industrial water sector. And what GE Water also brings is a number of world-leading technologies that augment the already strong SUEZ technology base. So it gives us a strong footprint in the industrial water market, but it also strengthens our offer and our ability to serve the municipal sector as well.
Interesting times. Thanks so much for talking to us about it.
No problem.